Everyone thinks the B-2 Spirit is terrifying because it looks like a black wing floating through the night. But the real reason it is feared is not the shape, it is the purpose. The B-2 was built to do the one thing air defenses are meant to stop: get through anyway. It was designed to slip past the radar, reduce its heat signature, cross the world, and hit targets that are supposed to be safe. It is not just a bomber, it is a machine built around survival in the deadliest airspace on Earth. So here is what the B-2 actually is. It's a long-range American stealth bomber designed to enter heavily defended airspace and deliver conventional or nuclear weapons. The headline is not just stealth, the headline is the combination of stealth, range, precision strike, and survivability in one single platform. That makes turn the B-2 into one of the most feared aircraft ever made. It can take off from far away, fly into places where other aircraft would be in danger, hit important targets, and then leave like nothing happened. And now the B-21 Raider is being built to push that same idea further. At first glance, the B-2 looks simple, but that simplicity is part of the trick. Every part of the aircraft is doing hidden work. Its flying wing shape is not there to look futuristic. It is there to reduce radar reflections. Traditional aircraft have tails, fins, exposed engine faces, and sharp surfaces that radar waves can bounce off. The B-2 removes as much of that as possible. It has smoother surfaces, curves, fewer obvious edges, and a layout designed to send radar energy away instead of back to the enemy. Even the shape is a stealth weapon. Then there is the skin. The B-2 uses special materials and radar absorbing coatings that help weaken the radar signal that hits it. So even if enemy radar reaches the aircraft, the return can be smaller than expected. But the B-2 does not rely on radar reduction alone. Its engines are buried inside the wing instead of hanging outside, where sensors can easily see them. That helps reduce the aircraft's infrared signature, which means it is harder to track by heat. The exhaust is also managed so the plane does not shine as brightly to thermal sensors. Now this is what most people miss. Stealth is not one single trick. It is a stack of tricks working together. The B-2 was built to be difficult to detect in multiple ways at the same time. Radar is only one part of the story. Heat matters, sound matters, the visual profile matters, flight behavior also matters. That is why the X factor is layered. Stealth, the shape matters, the coatings matter, the engine placement matters, the exhaust treatment matters. Together, they make the aircraft harder to find, harder to track, and then harder to kill. That changes everything in real war. In a simple mission, a bomber needs payload and range. In the hardest missions, the problem is survival. Can the aircraft get through radar networks, missile batteries, and interceptors, reach the target, and then come back? That is where the B-2 becomes terrifying. It is not just a bomb carrier, it is a deep strike platform built for targets protected by air defenses. If a command center, bunker, nuclear site, or military node is buried in defended territory, the B-2 exists for that particular job. It was built for missions other aircraft fear. So to put it simply, in normal use, that means it can launch from far away, cross continents, strike with precision, and return home. That gives the United States a rare strategic option. But the B-2 is not for everything. It is not a dogfighter. It's absolutely not cheap. It's not a bomber for routine targets. It was built for rare high-stakes missions, where survivability becomes the highest priority. That is why the fleet stayed so small. The B-2 is not about quantity, it is about threatening places once assumed to be protected by distance and air defense. That also explains why the aircraft became so expensive. The good side is obvious: extreme stealth, huge range, precision strike power, the ability to threaten targets many other aircraft may never safely reach. But the compromises are also huge. The fleet is tiny, the cost per aircraft is massive, to be honest, ginormous. The stealth skin is difficult to maintain. The support system is also demanding. And this is not something you casually operate. It requires money, infrastructure, technical skill, and constant care. The B-2 offers a near unmatched advantage, but it also demands a near unmatched price. And that particular price is the reason other countries have struggled to build a true rival. On paper, copying a stealth flying wing sounds possible, but in reality, the B-2 is not just a shape, it is a system of systems. You need advanced materials science, you need manufacturing, you need coatings that work outside the lab, you need heat management, you need software that supports the design, you need engines and layouts that do not ruin stealth. Then you need the industrial base to build and maintain all of it. That is far harder than making something that looks familiar and similar. And this is where Russia and China face their challenge. They can develop stealth concepts, show designs, and test prototypes. But an operational long-range stealth bomber is one of the hardest things in military aviation to build well. Looking stealthy is one thing, remaining survivable in contested airspace is another. A true B-2 rival needs engineering talent, years of testing and trial and error, large budgets, production quality, and confidence that the aircraft will work in combat. That is why the B-2 still sits in a strange class of its own. Few nations have anything like it. The B-2 also changed military thinking. Before aircraft like this, defended airspace felt like a stronger shield. Geography felt safer. Important targets buried deep inside a country could feel more secure. The B-2 weakened that particular feeling. It fused stealth with intercontinental reach and strike power. It made distance feel smaller. It made air defenses feel less certain. It made the idea of an untouchable target feel weaker. That is why the B-2 is not just a bomber. It is a message that even protected places may still be vulnerable. Now comes the next chapter, the B-21 Raider. This is the stealth bomber being developed to replace platforms like the B-1 Lancer and the B-2 Spirit. It is designed for the same broad mission, long range, high survivability, precision strike in both conventional and nuclear roles. But it is being built for a newer world, a more modern world. The B-2 came from an older, earlier era. The B-21 is being shaped for better sensors, tighter networks, faster software upgrades, and more adaptive warfare. It is the same idea, rebuilt for a harder future. That may be what makes the B-21 more dangerous. It is not just a stealth bomber, it is a stealth bomber designed to keep evolving like a Pokemon. It is expected to have low observable technology, improved maintainability, and an open systems design, so upgrades can be added more easily over time. That matters because the biggest threat to advanced aircraft is not only enemy missiles, it is aging. If the B-21 can adapt faster, stay stealthy, and remain cheaper to support than the B-2, then it becomes more than a replacement, it becomes a smarter long-term weapon. It is also being built with scale in mind. The B-2 was powerful, but there were too few of them. The B-21 aims to deliver stealth bomber capability in large numbers and at a lower cost per aircraft than the B-2. That matters because military dominance is not only about how advanced one particular aircraft is, it is about how many you can build, how quickly you can upgrade them, and how reliably you can keep them ready. A larger fleet of stealth bomber changes strategy in a way a tiny elite fleet cannot. And that is the bigger fear for America's rivals, like the Russian and the Chinese. If the B-21 succeeds, the America does not just keep its stealth bomber advantage, it extends that advantage into the future. It keeps control over long-range penetrating strike. So my verdict is simple. The B-2 Spirit is terrifying because its hidden technology turned stealth into a complete survivable system, not just radar reduction. And the B-21 Raider may become even more dangerous because it takes that same idea and rebuilds it for the next generation. The real question is whether anyone else can catch up before that gap gets even wider.